Hello, welcome in our today's session. First, please allow me to thank very much TDRA for having this great opportunity today to provide a valuable session. TDRA, thank you so much for having us today. I'm Nadal Mais. I'm a certified trainer from New Minds. It talks about STEAM, divergent thinking, and changing mindsets. I'm a coach, a business development consultant, and a university instructor. Today, we'll talk about business process management, introduction to process thinking, that is part and a title of digital fundamentals. It is an essential component in digital transformation as business process management allows businesses to achieve process efficiencies, of course, using suitable or applying the suitable technologies they need in their organizations. Let's dig in. Every organization today has many business processes which determine what gets done, when, and how. Okay, when we say organization, we mean by any type of organization. Talking about for profit business, not for profit business, non profit organizations, the public or the private sector, whether we're dealing with products, tangible goods, or services, these are organizations. They are all having these many business processes, and we'll talk more about this. This course exposes you to process thinking and the benefits of systematically managing these business processes through BPM. So, in this course, you will learn how you can manage your business processes and what you have to do in order to do this, as processes are present in businesses and they need to be properly managed. This course will provide an overview at the ingredients of business processes, how BPM can improve organizational performance, and the key phases of a business process management project. You will discover that business processes are all around you and play a key role in the products and services you both consume and provide. So, because like we are surrounded of lots of processes taking place all around us, and of course we are exposed to consuming or producing tangible goods or products and services. The objectives of our course today are first, learn the strategic goals which enable a business to improve its processes. Identify the phases in the BPM life cycle. We'll talk about them one by one. Number three, learn how to assess the process identification and its role in the business process management life cycle. Number four, explanation of the process discovery phase in the BPM life cycle to capture what work is done, when it will be done, and who will do it. This is very important. Number five, an overview of the technique of value added analysis of a business process. We'll talk about value added products and we'll have the value model analysis that we will discuss later on at the end of this course. And number six, learn how to monitor and control the performance of the redesigned process. It is important to monitor and control your processes because like we have to measure, we have to achieve, we have to check our outcomes, what went right, what went wrong, what do we have to do in the future, what are the improvements, or what are the processes we need to maintain or change, and so on. Okay, first of all, what is a process? A process is a group of interrelated tasks. Okay, it's a set of interrelated tasks that are, of course, related together. So let me give an example. Let's say we went to a restaurant and we had an order. I ordered a burger, let's say. So the order will go to the kitchen, will go a copy of this order, or maybe the invoice will go to the accounting section, will go to the management for conducting some reports. So these tasks, like the waiter, what is he doing, and the chef inside the kitchen, and all of this, what's going on, these are tasks to be done. Collected together and grouped together, they form a process. Another process is hiring employees. When we hire employees, this is a process. When we do ordering for raw material, let's say, this is a process. If you go reserving or booking a room in a hotel, this is a process. Okay, so these are processes that are composed of tasks And a business is group of processes. A group of interrelated processes together forms a business or an organization. Business process management is a structured approach. Okay, so it's a systematic and structured one that has really very clear steps to be done, and we'll check them now one by one. It improves processes on an ongoing basis as like things are changing and we want to change as well. We cannot maintain our history like by acting the old acts now in the present and for tomorrow in the future, as we have to change and cope with the changes taking place. We need to improve our organizational performance, and remember our organization is composed of group of processes, so these processes must be updated, modified, must be changed, must be improved, so in order for us as an organization to improve our performance as a whole. We have to achieve our strategic goals. We have long term goals that we want to achieve and we aspire as an organization, and we have to achieve. We achieve them through conducting our processes. We need to get work done. We need to serve customers, and not only serve them, we need to better serve our customers, as competition is really aggressive in the marketplace and in the market space as well, if we're talking about online businesses. And we need to generate business value, and we will talk more and more about business value. Okay, let me give a hint about business value. Like, we need to provide customers with value. With it's not only about the product or the service that we're providing; it's about the value they are consuming or taking out of this product or service. Okay, now why? Why we have to think, or we must have the process thinking or the business process management in our organizations. Customers want more, like customers are ordering more in terms of quantity and quality. They are more demanding nowadays. They need faster services and faster delivery, faster consumption of the products they need. Like life is being very fast and rapidly improving and going on, so customers need faster and more and better products. Better is like you need to compete more with others or to create value added products that are having the good quality that customers need and want. These customers also want to pay less for these products. They want to pay less. Why? Now they are very well aware of, like because of cost transparency and price transparency, especially online. This was thanks to the internet technologies and the internet that had everything became clearer and more transparent, having the prices more transparent and the costs more transparent. So let me give an example. If I say I'm purchasing, let's say, I don't know, a smartphone online that costs me 500 US dollars, and I'm willing to pay this. This means that, of course, I can do some researches and know how much did it cost and so on. So this way, as if I'm telling the company, hey, company, me as a customer, I agree to pay this cost for this smartphone and these profits for you as a company. This is about cost and price transparency, which made customers more aware of everything going on. The technological advancements that we talked about, especially internet technologies that made everything change. And like I always mention, like talking about internet and other technologies, overnight changes, these rapid and very fast changes that are happening. Even technologists say, like I had a certain meeting with one of them who are leading in the whole world having these creations and innovations. They say that they are not running fast as the same pace and speed of the technological advancements. Even they are creating them. Like technology is really moving fast, and businesses must cope with this. The changing environments that we talked about, changing in customers' preferences, changing in the businesses, in the processes, in how things are done. We used to do things in the past different than how we are doing them today. And we're going to do them in the future in a different way than we're doing them today. Shareholders also expect more efficiencies because like efficiencies leads to more revenues and profits. So as owners of businesses, they want more profits, they want more efficiencies, they want work to be done in less time, they want work to be done in costing them less, and maybe with less efforts and using less resources, because like the scarcity of resources plays a big role. Scarcity of resources was the main cause of studying economics since long ago. And this is why we study these economics, because like resources are not found as much as we want. So there's a limitation. There are some constraints that limits us from using as much as we want. So the scarcity of resources also urges us to have this structured approach in studying the processes and having the business process management. Increasing importance of the time factor. Oh, this is very important. As time, they say time is money. And for me, I say time is worth more than money, because like money you can get them back, maybe you can do other investments, or maybe you can earn some salaries, profits, so on it depends on what you work or what you do. But regarding time, I can never get a minute that passed. Okay? So that's why the time factor is very, very important. Okay. Now, what to do in business process management or how to think about it? First of all, it's a look inside the company, inside the business, inside the organization, in the operations, in the processes, in how the work is being done, in recognizing the know-how that we have. We must recognize what we know as an organization. Like even you as a person, if you think about it, you know lots where, and sometimes you don't recognize that you know this certain piece of information. It's a bit complicated, and like it's a knowledge or science by itself, where we can talk about it in other courses maybe. But like as an organization, we have to recognize the know-how that we have in our organization. And this comes from our employees, our personnel, comes from our processes, how we are doing work, and how things are getting done in order to accomplish the final result that we want, or achieve, or make, produce the final product or service that we are producing. We have to put the pieces right together that will make the process. The pieces here are the tasks. So, like a process is a big thing that is degraded into tasks. And so each specific task then will be collected together. All together, the tasks will form a process. We have to be consistent. Consistency is a very important factor here in efficiencies and in improving our organizational performance. I'll give an example. Let's say I'm ordering beef burger from McDonald's. So every time I order it, if I order it today or like a week ago, or I go next month and have the same order, like there's consistency in the taste. So it tastes the same. This makes processes very important, and like makes the product or the value for the customer delivered, and the customer will receive it as something of a good value. I like this taste, so I go and reorder it again. I need the consistency, so I need no contradictions in the products or services I'm ordering as a customer. This consistency to processes is accomplished by routines. So the routine, that is, I don't mean by routine this boring thing, but as a business, routines, process routines, and business routines are very important to achieve consistency in processes. Like you do one, then two, then three, then this step, then that step, and the final result will be accomplished. And you can improve and optimize your routines by time, by experience. So the thing that I started doing today will improve by time, and then it will be done as a routine. And this is where I achieve consistency. Optimizing decisions and resources. Yeah, all of what we're talking about is really relevant and coming in order. All of this will results in optimizing our decisions. What is optimizing? It's like making the best decision that we want. And the best decision for us as a business is, let's say I'm talking about profits. I need let's say I'm talking about revenues or profits, and here I need to increase them. I need to maximize my profits. This is optimization. If, let's say, I'm talking about costs, I need to minimize my costs. This is optimization. Doing the optimal thing is the best thing for us, okay? And I'm insisting on for us as a business organization or organization, I mean, because like what best suits us or optimal for us is not necessarily optimal for other competitors or for others. Measure and control progress for continuous improvement. We have to measure our progress. We have to control it. We have to monitor it. We can't leave things like too general. We have to be specific, and we have to measure things like, did we achieve what we aimed for? What are our goals? One, two, three. Okay, we did the process. Did we achieve these goals? These are all done for continuous improvement. As we mentioned, things are evolving, time is changing, the technological advancements, environments, customers, societies, all of these communities are changing, businesses, products, everything is changing. So we really need process continuous improvement. And finally, we have to reduce change. This is how we need to see things as well in the organization. Reduce waste. So we need to reduce waste. Like we need to be we need to economize our resources. We need to be like very wise in using these resources, and especially nowadays, like there are lots of awareness sessions or seminars or maybe meetings or brainstorming sessions on how to reduce wastes, not only in the business sector but also like in societies, in individuals, in households. Because like if you measure the amount of waste that you are wasting every single day, like it's really huge, and you can avoid this. Now let's talk about phases of business process management. Business process management has six main phases. Number one, assess. Number two, design. Number three, model. Number four, implement. Number five, monitor. And number six, modify. So these are the six main phases of business process management. We'll talk about them one by one. Let's start with number one, assess. Assess is, here we have to understand the process, where the process is currently. We need to evaluate our process. Where are we right now? So we need to check our processes. Where did they fall? It includes establishing and documenting what occurs with the process. So we have to document. Documenting is very important. We don't leave things only for eye observation or for talking or for verbal communication. We need to document everything of what's happening in the process. Who is responsible for each task? Responsibility is very important to be identified for each task and for each person individually. This is important for accountability. The length of time the process requires. So we must know how much time every process requires and how often the process is running. So because like we talked about the time factor and its importance, so we need to measure the time also in processes. This all should be also including any errors that is occurring and any potential consequences to show business impact. So while we are assessing or evaluating our processes, we can detect or determine some errors that are occurring, some mistakes, and maybe something that will maybe I can create some shortcuts after restudying or assessing and evaluating my processes. I can create shortcuts for conducting some tasks and processes, and I can save some time rather than wasting this resource, for example. Second, design. This phase should be high iterative. Iterative is like just like a cycle or a loop that is going on and on. So every time I'm designing something, for example, I figure out that I can improve it a bit more, or there's something wrong here, or I don't want it this way, so I can rework on this again. I can iterate. I can keep on iterating until reaching and achieving optimality. This is iteration. A valuable design reduces problems in the process life cycle and offers accuracy and efficiency. So we need to have valuable designs that will offer accuracy and efficiency. These are key terms here. Accuracy is preciseness, and this comes actually like we can be more accurate and precise if we are using technologies, computer systems, enterprise wide systems, systems that are linking everything in the enterprise, technologies, internet, like all of these technologies will ensure accuracy rather than having all the work being manual or like with the paper flow. I'm not ignoring the important role of paper flow or manual work, but to a certain extent. But we must have some systems that are helping us archiving, storing some data, like retrieving data in a timely factor, like the freshness of data available, the speed. This will all cause accuracy of our data if it's found in or designs of the process if it's found in computer programs and technologies. And efficiency that is achieving our work or our desired goal with having the best outcome or using the minimum resources or less efforts, like efforts or personnel or time and money. These are all resources. Business process management requires using process maps to form ideas and designing solutions that reduce the number of problems over the life cycle of the process. So, the business process management, we must have process maps. We must map everything. Remember, like in the beginning of this course, I said the BPM, the business process management, is a structured approach that we have to follow, and it's an essential component of a digital transformation. As you know, like it plays a very big role, or it allows companies and businesses, organizations to achieve efficiencies that they want using the proper technologies. So we need to be structured. We need to plan everything. We must be wise while using these resources, while redesigning or designing our processes in order to make use of everything and at the same time reduce our wastes. So reduce the number of problems. Like every single problem will cost the company lots of money in order to be solved, to be identified, first of all, to be understood, and then finally to find a solution for it. So while designing and paying attention for good designs for processes, maybe we can avoid falling in problems, or we can reduce these problems from taking place later on. Number three, the third phase of BPM is model. In this phase, designs are tested with predictive data. So we test our designs. We check, like we see, is it working? Is it like we've designed this process? Does it give us what we want? Will this process give the final product that the customer wants? Like we always must keep in mind the customers, because like what all of what we're doing will fall eventually in the hands of the customer, whether it's a product or a service. And using computer technologies and systems will really help us in this. One important note here is that practitioners should ensure the accuracy of the data, again, the accuracy of the data in order to obtain valid results. So, as much as the data is being accurate, so the end result will be accurate and as desired. And if there's no accuracy, there's contradiction, there's redundancy, maybe there's a lack of flexibility in sharing, and like all of these will result in problems later on, and we won't get the final result as desired. The goal of the modeling phase is to manipulate variables. Variables here are the things that will change, as the input of the process, such as time, cost, and other resources used to understand the outcomes. So we try to change with these variables. So to check, like, will if we add more money to this, will it give more value? If we use less time, what will happen? Like if talking about this, considering that the final result must stay feasible for us. Okay, we don't want to achieve infeasibility. We must ensure that everything is feasible for us, but at the same time we can manipulate, we can play with these variables to obtain optimality, as mentioned previously. In this phase, stakeholders need to make a decision based on the potential outcome models and should a process change be introduced. Who are stakeholders? Stakeholders are any person who has a direct or indirect relationship with the organization is considered a stakeholder. For example, customers are stakeholders, employees, suppliers, the government, creditors. So these are all the surrounding community. These are all considered stakeholders as they are relevant or linked or has a relationship with this organization in a way or another. No matter how strong this relationship is, or far or close, but these are considered stakeholders. Okay, so here we will check, can any change take place or happen to this process? Do we need any changes to be introduced? Number four, implement. Now we have a significant amount of work goes into implementing changes that are designed and modeled. First, we're doing just like as if we're planning, so we have to pay very much attention to steps numbered from 1 to 3 before we implement. Like because uh, um, um, if we are still in the studying process, this will cost us less if we want to change. Like I've mentioned, iterations, we can still iterate and improve in order to achieve optimality. Do whatever you want, finish the planning before you implement, because like implementing will cost you more in case you want to change later on. BPM practitioners must develop a detailed change management plan. So a detailed change management plan. I have to highlight this actually. Detailed change management plan with all the details that we have to consider, because the change plan will include changing processes, and changing processes will include maybe changing people positions. Let's say not only positions, I mean even physical positions. Like I was staying here in the past, but now after doing the changes in this process, I have to be sitting over there, let's say, because like I will be doing something else, or the same thing must be moved to another section, or who refers to who will change. Okay, we'll talk about this more in process reengineering in a while. Keep in mind, this may include job descriptions and roles. We mentioned like maybe some positions will change, or structure, the hierarchy might change as well. Um, this may include job descriptions. You have to write more and or change some job descriptions and roles, informing customers and suppliers or updating systems. So after these changes, every single stakeholder who has a relationship with this change must be informed about what happened. Otherwise, it'll be vague, like as an organization, you'll be maybe like losing trust, losing image. Some surprises might happen, that the trust between you and the suppliers will be maybe broken a bit, or like losing your image in front of customers. So that's why we have to inform them about these changes, everyone according to his to their position with the organization. And here in this stage, you have to prepare a contingency plan as well. Okay, the contingency plan is the what if scenarios that we create based on specific events. So this way we will be pre-prepared for any problems that might arise, for any obstacles that will hinder us from growing maybe, or from changing, or from improving our organizational performance. So contingency plans are very important also to be prepared. Number five, monitor. This is the fifth phase. Business process management is intended to be an ongoing process, which means practitioners must continuously assess the process continuously, continuously. It's not only a single process, it must be continued, even if the business is 20 years old or like starting up today. So the BPM must always be going on while conducting this business, using data modeling and simulation to consider possible outcomes. So we've mentioned technologies. I would like to add even more. Maybe the virtual reality, augmented reality, AR, like lots of technologies that can be used and exploited here so we can achieve our result. Remember, like I want to add something here in quotations or in parentheses. Technologies we aim from using, like technologies are tools. They are nothing but tools that we use to achieve what we want faster or with less cost or with more accuracy and consistency. So technologies are tools that help us to achieve our desired goals. So they are the instruments or the tools, just like like the builder when he wants to build a house, he needs, I don't know, like a hammer or a scarecrow, whatever. So whatever they sorry some these pins or whatever, like I don't know these tools, but imagine the builder or the carpenter or any or the tailor. So what are their tools that will help them achieve what they want? Technologies are the tools organizations need to assist in achieving desired results. They should also benchmark performance against several data points. Okay, benchmarking is whenever you just measure your performance against others. Okay, and mainly measuring your performance and checking your position against other leaders in the market or major players in the market. This is benchmarking, including any key performance indicators, KPIs. Actually, when an organization sets KPIs, it enables the team to make smarter decisions about the direction of the company and the current project, where it is now or where we are going in the future. Employee feedback. This is important. An employee is an internal partner. He's also an employee is a partner and he's also an internal customer. You know, this is the employee. So his feedback or her feedback really matters. And the overall objectives of the overall organizational objectives. Finally, this is the last phase in business process management. It is modify. The process should be continually adjusted based on data to improve outcomes. So, finally, we have modifications, and like we're always saying continuously, continuous. It has to be adjusted and improved. So the overall outcomes eventually, and our products and services will be improved as well. Our organizational performance. I want to add something here. When I say organizational performance, this doesn't. This is not apart from employee performance as well. Corporate competitiveness and the employee performance eventually will be also improved as they are part of each other. If changes are required, the business case should be revisited and the six-step phase cycle should begin again, starting with the assessment phase. So see here, the final phase in the BPM ends with saying like you have to repeat the phases again and again from 1 to 6 every now and then whenever you realize that things must change or you have to review your business processes or any business case arise. These are the six steps of business process management. Strategic business objectives are very important and common among around all organizations, no matter what they work. And these strategic business objectives are the objectives, the long-term objectives that businesses or organizations aspire to achieve in the long run. First of all, operational excellence, which is achieving efficiencies, effectiveness, and productivity. Um, more productivity is increasing with the technological advancements of employees. I mean, we've talked about efficiencies, and regarding effectiveness, it is achieving the desired goal. This is effectiveness. Improved decision making. Okay, whenever also we have technologies and suitable technologies for us, as we remind you, this course falls under the digital transfer. This course actually is an essential component of digital transformation. So that's why we are focusing so much on the role of technologies in improving also decision making, because like having the data being accurate, having them being retrieved rapidly, so the time in a timely manner, and having everything just on a click. So this will improve our decision making, especially if I'm talking about having auctions, some offers, maybe conducting deals, okay, and mainly online work. We'd like to mention here e-commerce. You know, like this is booming, and talking about this, we're still in the introduction phase, and more and more things will be happening in the market space. Customer and supplier intimacy. This is important to talk about. Businesses want themselves to be very much attached or linked to customers, because this will result in having these customers being loyal to them or like this brand or this business and come again and again. And having this relationship with the supplier makes the suppliers maybe prioritize this business by providing them the raw material, or giving some more offers, or cutting or reducing some costs for the payments of raw material. New product services and business models. With the presence of technologies, a company can develop new products and new services. Mainly here I'm talking about a department that is called research and development, R&D. And this department requires very much qualified personnel and all of the technologies that are needed and required in order to improve or create new products and services. And sometimes we recreate our old ones. Business models, also we can create new business models. Simply, a business model is what are you doing in the market. So let's say before the presence of internet technologies, did we have Facebook? Of course not. The business model of Facebook is community provider. So Facebook is providing a community where people can gather all around, meet each other, talk to each other, socialize, and so on. So, but I mean online. So this business model was not found before these technologies. So here also, this is what I mean by technologies can allow us also create new business models. And by the way, if any one of you is really wants to create or do something, business models are we have several standard business models, but they are not limited. They are only limited to your imagination, according to ones what you can create online or do online. Competitive advantage. It's an advantage whenever you have an advantage over your competitors. And talking about competitors, you have direct and indirect competitors that you have to consider. And a competitive advantage is something that you have more than your competitors, whether in the taste, let's say, in the quality, in providing quantities, in the speed, rapidness of, in the speed of delivering the product, in maybe the way how you deal with your customers. So any added value that you have for your competitors. And here, mentioning all of these strategic objectives, if we count the four that are before competitive advantage, if you have them or you have one of them, this is a competitive advantage. This can be also considered a competitive advantage. Finally, survival. Okay, here before we talk about competing, before we talk about excellence, about decision making, about any of what I mentioned before, a business or an organization needs to survive, to stay alive. Okay, so what we mean nowadays, uh, uh, we as human beings, we need to breathe. I need to I need some oxygen. I need to eat. I need to drink water. You know, like these are the the main things that keeps me surviving. And you can add more if you want, but like these are the very basics for us physically, and physically also for the business, for the organization to survive nowadays. They must have technologies, and they must apply technologies in these digital fundamentals that they need in their organizations in order to stay surviving. I'm pretty sure that you heard about lots of business giants or companies, or like lots of organizations maybe shutting down or not surviving anymore nowadays in these turbulent times, especially after having pandemics or economic crisis or so on. But this is where survival really means to organizations, and technology will help them along. Okay, now we'll talk about the value added analysis. I've mentioned the value in the beginning of the course, and I promised to talk more about it in the end. Value, like providing a value for the customer, is giving them, like the thing maybe they are expecting, or I say sometimes they are not expecting as well, like beyond their expectations. If you can go, let's take an example, this cake. If I say I'm hungry and I want to eat, I eat this cake. So if you ask me what was the taste or how was it, or like, I say like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm full. Okay, I ate. That's it. I'm not hungry anymore. So how do you see like my expressions? This is like, maybe I'm not gonna purchase this cake another time. But like if I eat it and really enjoy it, and like I was eating, I'm really enjoying this cake. This is the value I take from. Okay, so maybe from the healthy ingredients found in it, maybe from the yummy taste that is in this cake, maybe from the garnish, the appearance, uh, anything that you as an organization can have as a value for the customer to be satisfied, for the customer to be satisfied. A satisfied customer is a customer who took from the product or service when they consume it the expected outcome. And I mentioned like going beyond these expectations. I want you to think about delighting customers, like having more than they wanted, like more than they expected. This way, you guarantee customer loyalty. And customer loyalty is having these customers coming over and over again and again to your business and paying more money. These are revenues rather than going to your competitors. So increasing your profits, sustaining your business, improving your product, like it's whole a cycle. If you just think about it, so one thing will lead to the other, starting from providing this value to customers. And providing value added products and services is not a very simple thing, but yet it's not something impossible, but it needs to be studied in order to achieve this. I'll talk about it in the model in the next slide, but first I'll have to mention process redesign. Okay, things are changing. We mentioned the environmental changes, the ongoing changes that are happening. We are living in a dynamic environment. Things are not static, they are always changing. We are living in an ever changing environment due to these technological improvements that we talked about. And there are lots and lots, and especially nowadays, like it's not like before. Even work is being more specific, and specialties are becoming greater. Like the same product, let's say, that you are manufacturing, you see like every part of it has a specialist who is specialized in manufacturing this or in knowing how to do this, and so on. The majors in universities, the interests, the researches that everyone is doing. So things are being more and more specialized, which make it more complicated, more professional, but more complicated. And here we are talking about of all the reasons that urges us to redesign our processes in an organization, and the customer preferences that are changing also. Okay, so this also requires from us something called process re-engineering. It is like recreating your processes. Sometimes flipping the table upside down, changing everything. I've mentioned like changing sometimes who refers to who, or in the hierarchical structure of the organization, or in the physical locations, in the positions, in the roles, but must not uh, um, this must not have a negative effect on your employees. Beware of this. Of course, this must be done gradually, step by step. This is the key term here. This must be done gradually. Change of process reengineering is changing these processes or redesigning, and this change must be gradual. Otherwise, the whole organization will be shocked. Employees wouldn't know how to work like the same as they did before. Everything will change. Even imagine on your personal life, if something has changed all of a sudden, you will be paused for a while just to understand what's going on. Even organization will do the same thing, and this is not for their benefit, as while they're pausing to realize what's going on, other competitors are moving way forward. Okay, so here also there's a very important role for ergonomics. Like while I'm changing things, if you see here in the picture, you see like nice colors, maybe it's lighted too much, very clear. Like even the chair that you're sitting on, the light that is directed on your table, the tools that you're using, the pen that you're writing with, the desktop or the laptop that you're working on. So these are the role of ergonomics, the windows, the furniture in your office. So everything must be, like having this positive energy and redesigned in a way that suits these redesigned processes in order for you as a person, as a person working in this place to be comfortable and be productive and to achieve what is wanted by the end of the day. Okay, I'll talk about the value chain analysis model and what to consider in order to create value added products and services for customers. Please, I want you to look at the bottom of this slide on the industry value chain. You see, like, we have arrows that starts with suppliers, then suppliers, then the firm. Okay, let me, with respect to the firm has suppliers, okay? And my suppliers, me, let's say as a firm, my suppliers, they have their own suppliers as well. Okay, so it all starts at the very beginning from these suppliers to other suppliers to the firm, then to distributors, then finally to customers. You can say to wholesalers, retailers, then customers. So it starts at the very beginning with suppliers and ends at customers. So this is the industry value chain. If I take the firm as like I want to focus more on the firm, I zoom into the firm and I see the above picture that is colored in purple. Please let's take a look at the firm value chain, and let's look at the bottom of this purple table that has the primary activities. You see, like the title is on the left, primary activities. It has 5 primary activities. Number one is inbound logistics. Inbound logistics is handling the raw material, everything that is relevant to raw material, from like receiving the raw material, who will take charge of this, who will be responsible to put them in the right place, where to put them, where to store them, and so on. Operations. In operations, we transform the raw material into finished goods. Okay, or if we're talking about services, so it's the transformation of the input into output, of taken from the inbound logistics as an input to provide outputs to the outbound logistics that is found at the end of the image here. Number three, sales and marketing. So if I'm the best of doing something in the whole world and I don't know how to sell it, so this is not useful for me, I guess, as a business. So I need to market my products in order to be sold. So that's why it's a primary activity here. Another primary activity is the service, or what we call sometimes after sales service, that really guarantees maintaining your customers. This is how you retain them. how you keep them, like by staying connected. It's not about like selling the product and yes, you can go now and we just we just cut the link between each other. No, we must stay connected by this after sales service that really maintains and retains the customer and keep their satisfaction much longer. And finally, number five, outbound logistics. This deals with the final products where we just manufactured and produced, and where to store them, how to deal with these, how to deliver them to customers. Like it's all handling the finished products. So these five primary activities, if you see under them, there are examples of computer systems, of digital technologies that will help you in each primary activity of these. So in these primary activities, we are creating the value. We are creating the value as a firm and as a whole industry, where we talked about it in the bottom of this image. The value must be created in every single part of this chain. It's not only about the firm itself. So I'm focusing in the firm in which activities to focus on creating this value, this quality for customers, this thing that will let them be happy and satisfied and delighted sometimes. So every single one is responsible to create this value. Let's say I'm manufacturing tables, desks, for example, made up of wood. If I'm doing the process really great and I purchased from my suppliers maybe some defected raw material. Will the table be of a good quality? Of course not. Although I'm doing the processes perfectly, but I received wood that has some insects maybe or defected or something, so I cannot manufacture what I want, and the end product will be received to the customer defected. Also, if everything goes well and the distributor will just take these desks and maybe transport them under rain, so they will become humid and the rain will destroy them. So also the customers will take the desks like with bad quality, and I won't be able to deliver the value added goods to my customers. So that's why every single part or section in the whole industry value chain is really responsible to deliver these value added products. And as a firm, the primary activities here are very well clear. I mean, to consider creating the value in them. Also, I have four support activities that support the primary activities in creating value added products to customers. So the support activities here are the administration and management. Like the top management must be very supportive. They must not be stressful. Otherwise, the technologies uh, uh, they won't benefit us. And lots of organizations have these stressful management and administration, and they say the fault, it's all the technology's fault, it didn't work well. But actually, I've really made this clear from the beginning that technologies are only the tools that we use, but it's our fault if we didn't know how to use them, or if we're not the management is not wise enough or like aware enough on how to deal with the human factor they have regarding these technologies. Second, human resources. That is very important because they deal with every single position and person and role in the organization from the top to bottom and vice versa. Technologies that we are talking about, that we must know how to have them suitable and appropriate for us as an organization. But also procurement, we need to purchase what is best for us as an organization, considering our employees, our qualifications, our budgets, maybe how much money do we have, our location, our customers, all of these considerations to procure the best also technologies that we need. Yeah, also these four activities, four support activities, you see that under each one there's an example of computer system or a digital fundamental that will help you do your job in this section or part. So this is the firm value chain. This is very important to be considered in organizations and to be analyzed. So for processes and to know where to create the value and what technologies to apply and where. Also, who will be responsible for them or will work on them, will apply them. This is all in the value chain analysis model. Thank you so much. We talked about business process management. It was an introduction of process thinking. It was a digital fundamental course, a very essential component and the main component in digital transformation. Thank you so much for attending this class. Thank you so much, TDRA, for having us today and for this great opportunity. Thank you.